Hey guys,
Yo.
What's up?
good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Cory?
Great. Thanks for asking.
So, in honor of what we're going to talk about today, I had a question for you guys.
Go for it.
How do we know that Disney Plus was like really serious about the Falcon Winter Soldier?
I mean,
How?
got it 6 episodes.
It's because they did the whole show in all caps.
Oh, man.
Oh, and scene.
Yeah. I raised my glass to that.
Oh, that's good. Welcome everybody back to the Real Heroes Show. Cory, Nick, and Kevin here, and in today's episode, as Kevin so expertly alluded to in his joke, we are going to be reviewing episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Big time spoiler warning up front here. A lot happened in this episode. We don't want to ruin it for you, so if you have not seen this episode yet, go over to Disney Plus, check it out, and then come back to this video. If you guys are new to the channel, please go ahead, click that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, that way you never miss any other future content from us. And while you're at it, go ahead and like this video, even though you don't know what we're talking about yet. Boys, this episode was entitled Power Broker. We had a really cute commercial for the Global Repatriation Council. We finally got to go to Madripoor, which
Finally.
Kevin, your mutant theory, someday it's gonna come true, man. They're laying the groundwork for that shit. It's a beautiful thing.
It's inevitable.
We got some John
Like
Wickian
Thanos.
action. We got to catch up with Baron Zemo and Sharon Carter. And then there was a little surprise at the end that I don't think any of us saw coming. So
No.
let's dive right into this thing. Kevin, what were you a fan of in this episode?
God damn, dude. What was I not a fan of? This episode is when this show showed us what this show is, in my opinion. I mean, everything started hitting. We start feeling more connected to the MCU as a whole, I think, and really even just the Marvel universe as a whole. But a couple of things, maybe even, I don't want to say minor things, but a few things really stood out to me in terms of just like little dialogue, back and forth here and there. I loved well, first I'll say this. I love Zemo. I actually really like Zemo, the character. He's fantastic. And the entire interchange, when he's saying, I have an idea, or let me jump in if I may, and they're telling him to shut up. Like this, like, apologies, understandable.
Right.
And then on the plane when Sam is talking to Bucky about Trouble Man, and
Marvin Gaye.
he does his little exposition about captures the African American experience or whatever it is that he says.
He calls it a masterpiece.
All of that, yes, all of that. It's just it's fantastic. Loved Sharon.
Yeah.
Sharon's a fucking badass now.
Yeah.
Which is great, and I think one of my favorite moments of the whole thing was Bucky when he goes, "Wow, she's really terrible now."
Yeah. That was so good. I love
really believe in all that bullshit, don't you?
Yeah. Stars and stripes over here.
Yes, I mean it's like the dialogue was just hitting on all cylinders. I thought the interplay between Sam and Bucky and Zemo, also fantastic. And as you mentioned, fucking Madripoor, like we've been waiting for that. And it's not even just Madripoor, it's like where they go in Madripoor. Like I feel that word coming at some point.
Mutant.
That'd be the word. Yeah.
There were some hints in this episode that
there were.
And I mean,
we'll get to that.
We're talking about experimentation. We're talking about labs and super soldiers and Madripoor and the seedy underbelly of this fucking pirate society, like all this kind of stuff. And
they even mentioned Hightown and Lowtown.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it was huge.
It's like it's really cool. It's like it's right there on the tip of their tongue, and we're just waiting for them to spit it out. So
they're doing this to you.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
Absolutely. They're so yeah, as you can tell, I was a fan of this episode. I did not want this one to end.
Same.
When it went off, I was like, oh man.
I know.
I even fast forwarded through all the credits looking for a post credit scene.
And it's funny you say that because this one was the longest one so far.
Yeah.
I paused it a couple times to see how much time was left. I'm like, I just want to keep going.
It felt extraordinarily cinematic. This was the least TV showy episode of any of the Marvel Disney Plus stuff so far, in my opinion.
Yeah. Very cinematic. I do agree. Nick, how about you? What'd you like about this one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Madripoor is a big one, given the lore from the comics, and a certain individual that I'm a huge fan of that frequents that place. He will not be named yet, but not yet. But man, just I think the action, between like the jailbreak that kind of leads up to where Sam and Bucky are talking, right, in that garage, and how their relationship kind of just I say transcends, but just progresses throughout this episode. It's like Zemo sort of taunts Winter Soldier, right?
Oh, yeah.
Taunts Bucky quite a bit.
He wiggles his chin at one point. Like, he's like, I own you, dude. You can't do anything to me right now.
You might not be, it's like he's not brainwashed anymore, but when he says in the bar, like, Winter Soldier attack, and dude, man, that fight scene, like, you could see Sam just being like, oh shit, like, because he's literally just mopping the floor up with all those thugs in there until all the guns cock.
Yeah.
And it's like, Selby, we'll see you now. And I mean,
you get the impression like Sam has fought alongside Bucky a lot, but he's never just stood back and watched him do his thing.
Yeah, like, so that was kind of cool. And then especially when they're talking with Dr. Nagel, right? Or Nagel, however they say it, but Sharon Carter, what a badass. Like, she's literally just fighting off bounty hunters left and right. And every time it kind of cuts back to her, like, you kind of see her a little bit more roughed up, like she's got blood on her face, like the one dude at the very end who's like behind the one of the storage containers, and he's like he jumps back and she's just waiting right there and just pops him. I was like, like, she
was fucking savage in that scene.
Yeah,
100%.
Savage.
For someone who's not really like a superhero or anything like that, she definitely had that sort of like John Wickian, Jason Bourne-ish, like, type of persona, which,
Black Widow-y,
very, like, which, I mean, hey, look, there's some things that could have alluded to her. I thought what it might have happened in this episode with the chemicals, right? The serums, because I think at one point she does pick up the shield. So, I mean,
you never know. Anything's possible.
The future is open to that extent. Maybe in a what if episode. Later on
that'd be
Disney
cool.
Plus.
Yeah.
Which would that be pretty cool? But yeah, I mean, the lights, like the in Madripoor, were really fun to see. Reminded me a bit of Hong Kong in the Godzilla vs. Kong movie. So yeah, that was really cool. Cinematically, it looked beautiful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this episode was just fantastic, and I think so far the best of the three, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. I love all the John Wick talk. Because this episode was actually written by the guy that wrote the first 3 John Wick movies.
Hey, it shows.
Yeah, Derek Kolstad was one of the writers on this episode and episode 4 that will come out next week.
Oh wow.
He did an interview saying how amazing it was to write for Marvel, and he was like, I thought there were going to be all these like boundaries and handcuffs because we're doing TV. And then Marvel was like, no, go blow some more shit up.
Just do it.
And stick with it. So
give them a movie
cool.
next.
Dude, I would love a Derek Kolstad written Thunderbolt series, because
that'd be pretty badass.
I mean, it kind of seems like I don't think Zemo's going to go away anytime soon.
I hope not.
So if we start doing some Thunderbolt stuff and he's part of it, that'd be pretty dope. Be all
awesome,
for
yeah.
it. So I'd love to echo all the sentiments you guys had. Madripoor was great. I love the seedy underworld feel that they got there. I also really enjoyed, and this kind of got over eclipsed by everything that happened in the end of the episode, but in the beginning, when John Walker and Battlestar break into the business where those folks were hiding the Flag Smashers, John Walker gets this close. He almost snaps. He says, this is bullshit twice, which the real Captain America would say, hey, language.
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 And, you know, when the guy spits on him and he almost flips. And I feel like every episode, it's just like a slow burn to whenever John Walker finally loses his shit and just like brutally beats somebody or even murders someone. I think there's a good chance that could happen. Which was,
I think so too.
Excellent. Action sequences were terrific, as already talked about. There's one scene where Zemo's wearing the purple mask and he's framed behind a whole bunch of fire that's like perfectly framing his face, which was just amazing. And in the end, we're tying this shit into Wakanda. We got Ayo from the Dora Milaje, and it's just like, did you guys think that we were going to get Wakandan tie-ins? Like,
no,
other than maybe
all.
like a passing mention in this show?
We already got the reference from the second episode when Sam's like saying like, oh, I get to spend time in Wakanda. I have a vibranium arm, right? Like,
right.
Talking about to Bucky, but to see someone from Wakanda, I had no idea. Like, no.
Yeah,
clue.
and I mean, obviously they mentioned it earlier in this episode when it's like, well, he's the guy that killed King T'Chaka and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't expect to see anybody, and I guess part of my surprise is that we don't really know where they're going with Black Panther as a franchise since losing Chadwick Boseman, and to then throw part of that franchise out there into this. But then again, this may have been shot before that happened, and I don't know. So I was definitely surprised to see that happen, and I'm kind of curious now that we saw her. I'm curious if there were any rewrites or anything that had to happen on this show. After we did
around his death.
Yeah,
it's possible. Yeah,
but as surprised as I was, it was a very welcome surprise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I was like, who is he alluding to? Like, he obviously knows someone is there watching, but I was like, who the hell is this? Like, it's like pause theory. Who is this? And I would not have guessed. Like, I'm like, who has that sort of technology? And I mean, I probably should have thought maybe something Wakandan, but like, I love how they did the camera, like looking this way, looking back that way. Let's go back this way, and
they
she's
finally
there.
give it to you. But the Wakandans, they don't seem like the type of folks to forgive and forget so quickly. And Zemo is the person responsible for their king getting killed. And now the person that they helped unbrainwash and gave a new arm to is teaming up with that guy. So that creates a nice amount of conflict, and I'm very curious to see how that shakes out in the rest of the series. But that actually kind of brings me into the one, I don't want to say it's a dislike, but it's like a concern, I guess, that I have. Is that this is only a 6-episode series, right?
Right.
I'm a little nervous that it's getting too big for its britches, if that makes sense. Because we've introduced Falcon, Winter Soldier, U.S. Agent, Battlestar, the Bradley family, Zemo, Sharon Carter, Wakanda's included, Madripoor, the Power Broker, the Flag Smashers. There are a lot of things going on, and there's only 3 hours left of the show.
Right.
So I don't, like, some stuff's going to have to not get resolved or or just be like a passing thing. And I hope that it stays true in the last 3 hours to the two leads. I really hope that it sticks to Falcon and Bucky. It has always seemed like the show is the vehicle to get Sam to become Captain America. If it goes away from that or doesn't give that to us, I might be a little bit disappointed with it. But I don't know how you guys feel about that. But
yeah, I kind of wonder what'll happen in Black Panther 2, right? Like that's going to be the big deal, like we've said, with losing Chadwick Boseman, and what they're doing with the character of T'Challa himself, right? And I kind of wonder if we're going to get a mentioning of just T'Challa in general, like in the next episode. Who knows, right? But I think the Thunderbolts thing could be a thing. I don't think we'll see the formation of it in this series, but I do think that a lot will be branched off or continued down the line. It's like just focus on Sam and Bucky, right? Like that's the big thing. Like I almost imagine Zemo to disappear at one point,
and just go away.
Just not die. Like so maybe my previous theory is just like, is he gonna die? Well, maybe not. So.
Well, it would be nice to have this kind of villain / anti-hero kind of guy out there in the wind, rather than feeling the need to wrap these guys up in every movie. That would be nice. And I'm with you, Cory. I feel like this is setting Sam up to become the next leader of whatever iteration of the Avengers takes place, because he's really the only one tied to the military at this point. He's the only one that has resources behind him, other than Rhodey maybe, but I could definitely see, and Rhodey's always been kind of a company man, so I could definitely see Sam becoming that de facto leader moving forward, especially if he does pick up the shield and become Cap.
I do kind of like the little scene where Sharon kind of called him out on his shit, because I think at that point he realized it. Are you talking about where she says like, you gave it up because you don't really believe in it? That thing, like, because you can kind of see, like, and even Zemo's like, it's not deep down he feels that, right? And then kind of Bucky kind of opens up a little bit more about what it means, not just to him literally, but to everyone, right? And that Sam could be the embodiment of that, and he should be the embodiment of that, right? And it's like, just Bucky's like, I'm gonna take it back myself. I'm like, damn right you are, Bucky. Take that shield.
There's a chance that you might see him fight with that shield before the series is over.
I think so too.
Or he might get his Wakandan friends to build him something, which could be fun. But we're diving into theory and speculation mode. Anything else you guys didn't care for in this episode, or should we just skip right to ranking it out of 10?
Nah, I didn't have any gripes, to be honest with you. Even the soundtrack was fantastic.
The soundtrack was good. It was very good. All those club scenes, my subwoofers were bumping at 6:30 in the morning when I was watching it. It woke my ass up. It was good. Yeah. So, all right, Kevin, out of 10, what are you giving this one?
I'm giving this one a 9.
Okay.
Yeah,
solid
I'm going
9.
big on this one. Yeah, and partially because Nagel was listening to Coming Home Baby on the vinyl when they walked in.
Yeah, man.
So fucking badass. Great song. So yeah, 9.
Okay, Nick.
Yeah, I was somewhere between 8.5 and 9, but I think initially I was thinking about a 9 too, just for everything that was included.
Going there too. I loved it.
Yeah,
it's not a 10. It's not a 9.5 because there's 3 episodes left. We got to give it some space in case some crazy shit pops off. But we're in consensus on this one. We're a 9 across the board.
Yeah.
Well done, Marvel. You made an hour-long movie for TV.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
which is awesome. So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Let's take this one home, gents. Obviously we really enjoyed this episode. We would love to hear if you guys did too. So please go ahead and leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought about this episode and all the developments that came along with it. If you are new to the channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, like this video and all future videos that come out from us, because it really helps us out. Stay tuned. We have another video coming out this week with 6 things that you may have missed from this episode that might explain some things either for this series or the future. And then we'll also have some other stuff coming too. We have a Godzilla vs. Kong review that just got posted recently as well, so check that out if you're a kaiju fan. Until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.